Yeah, Pete, I know this is mostly about the rookies, but seeing Darrell Taylor out there, just how good is it to get him on the field?
Yeah, it's really important for his return to get comfortable with playing ball again. It's been a long year for him. We did get to see him at the end of the season, which helped. He got on the field for a couple of weeks, and this is hugely important for him. His attitude and his want to is so good right now. He's in great space, so it's good to get him out there, just get some turns and some reps. He's got some catching up to do.
Joe Fan?
Pete, with Darrell, health-wise, is he 100%?
Let me look at the film, see what he looks like. It was the first time I had a chance to see him. I didn't get enough to look on this practice at this point, but he ran around pretty well, and he felt comfortable, did everything. So that's a really good sign.
And then where specifically are you trying to get him some reps in?
We're playing him. He's an outside player for us. Rush outside linebacker. Both jobs he's taking a look at.
Corbin?
Hey, Pete, normally this time of year, it feels like you guys are bringing in tryout players out of Buffalo, and obviously that can't happen this year. But what are your thoughts on how you guys were able to get work in today and maybe having more individual time one-on-one with these players?
No, this was great work today. Now that normally in a rookie camp we'd have probably another 15, 18 guys. Around 50 something. We had 31 or something today. But it worked out fine, and they'll get the same amount of reps they would get in a normal camp. We have to adjust the tempo a little bit to get that done, but they'll get the same snaps. So that's the main thing, so we can make good evaluations and all. So that was a really good start today. That was really fun to see those guys out there.
It didn't look like Kate Johnson was able to get any reps in today. What's his situation, and how excited were you guys to be able to get him as an undrafted free agent?
Yeah, he was really productive in school, and so we are excited to see him play. We see him playing inside, being an inside receiver for us. He's not quite ready to go yet, so we just got to hold off for a little bit. He's getting walk-through reps and stuff like that, just so that he knows what's going on, but we can't get him on the practice field yet.
Bob?
Yeah, Pete, what did you see out of Dwayne Eskridge and then also Connor Weddington? Sort of how do you see him fitting in potentially with you guys?
Yeah, I thought Dwayne looked really good. He looked just like we had hoped. He looked very quick, very strong, had really easy time with the types of routes that we were running. He had no problem at all doing everything, caught the ball beautifully today. So he's off to a nice start. He's a good, strong kid. He's built well, and you can see him. He catches the ball with strength and power. You can see him getting out of his transitions after catching it and turning and running and all that. So it was a really good first day. We got him to break him down a couple times. The first time he broke him down to something like, I'm not sure what he said, and the next time he got us down to Seahawks, so that was a little bit better. So he got better during the course of the day. It might have been dogs is what the first time we broke him down. So we got him straightened out.
Tim?
Pete, what about Darrell's sort of makeup makes him a prime option for playing Sam, and what are the biggest things he has to learn that he just hasn't experienced before in that position?
Well, he did a lot in college. He did a lot of dropping, did a lot of rushing, and we liked him as a rusher first, which we still do. But he's got all of the athleticism. He's a real natural athlete, really light on his feet, burst, explosion. COD is really good. So this is not going to be a challenge for him to learn the position. We need to see how he feels when we do mix him dropping and rushing, and then we'll knowing that we want to see him as an outside rusher as well in passing situations. So we're double teaching him, and he's such a good-looking athlete. He looks like he can do whatever you need him to do. So we have no really restrictions or hesitation on his range of play.
Curtis?
Yeah, Pete, is there any random first impressions that have stood out to you from any of the guys since getting them in here, seeing them in person, getting to know them, chat with them a little bit since they've shown up that stood out to you?
Yeah, just seeing the 3 draft picks in particular, just how kind of giddy they are just to be here. You come from all over the country and you show up here, you're not sure what you're going to get into, and it's your first day in the NFL, and they see this facility and our setting here and all, and how we take care of our business, and everything's so first class. These guys were just big-eyed, and smiling, having fun, and really excited to be here. I think it was Dwayne said something about dream come true, and it's just really fun to share in their excitement. The one thing you can't miss is Stone Forsythe is a monster of a guy. Gosh, he's such a big, good-looking athlete. I'm anxious to see what the film looked like on his first day out here. But, man, he's got He's got tremendous length and his just stature. He's just built so beautifully. He's really just perfectly fit for the position, left tackle. So we're looking forward to see how that goes. But basically, it's about their excitement. They're all charged up and pumped up, and it's fun to share that with them. They're probably not as excited as I am. So but they're close. So we're battling there.
Michael Sean.
Hey Pete, how are you feeling about the decision by our veteran players to skip out on OTAs entirely?
Well, they made a decision early with the information that they had, and they didn't know what the deal was with the COVID protocols and stuff. That was not hadn't been stated yet from the league. So they made an early decision. They were concerned, and they wanted to make sure and take care of business and make sure that everybody stayed safe. And I couldn't have agreed with them more. Things are changing rapidly. Today was the big announcement from the league in conjunction with what the CDC said. That people that have been vaccinated officially and fully, are out of masks and all that. And I know you guys can feel that as well. That's a shift. It's a shift in your mentality, and it changes things somewhat. And that we've transitioned to this point where things are a little different than they were back then. I don't know what's going to happen as we move forward. And anxious to see next week how all the teams handle it. There's I think 21 teams sent a letter in and made a statement that they weren't going to come to camp. Let's see what happens and see what's right. But I trust our guys. They're working at it. They're figuring it out, and I know they're working really hard, and I know they're studying really well. All of our Zoom meetings have been just on point and really better even than they were last year at this time. So we're making progress. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks.
Thanks.
Greg.
Pete, some teams are giving back the mandatory minicamp and offering players maybe a week OTAs in lieu of the minicamp. Have you guys thought of doing that to try to entice the veterans back?
Yeah, we're talking to our guys about what our options are, and so we're well aware of what's going on. No, we're not aware of everybody, but we're well aware of some of the thoughts that the teams have. We're going to come up with our own stuff, which we already are talking about, and seeing if something fits right as we move forward.
And then what's the deal? You finally got a West Point guy here. Congratulations.
It's about time, right?
About time. You're 10 years late. What is Radigan's status? Usually they have to wait on a waiver and just to get to training camp. How far down the pike is he with that? Do you know?
Really, Greg, all I know is that it's been seamless. There's been no issues, but he's here with us just like everybody else now. And I don't know if it's an exemption or how they do this, but he has the time and the freedom to be here with us. And I think I would imagine that he has some reserve responsibilities out of season and all. I don't know the particulars other than he's with us and he's all in. So. Seems like a really cool kid, and I'm anxious to see kind of the chip on his shoulder about this, being from West Point and all that, because I've been around a guy that really demonstrates that, and I'm just curious to see if if it kind of just follows suit.
Is he inside only?
Inside linebacker, that's where we're starting him at. Yeah, we'll find out first day on the field. So he looks like that's where he fits, and so he'll be learning Mike and Will right now.
It's too bad we don't have open locker room, Greg. John Boyle.
Yeah, Pete, you guys have a lot of fans in Germany. They'd probably be mad if we don't bring up Aaron Donker. Just what are your thoughts on getting him, and what did you know about him when they allocated him to you? And, just your thoughts on that program as well.
Well, I think the program's great. I love that we're doing that and making the opportunities available to people from other areas and all that. I'm all for it. Aaron's really charged up. He's really excited about it. He fits. He looks, in the first day out here, he fits in with everybody. He doesn't look like it's too big for him at this early stage. But I'm anxious to follow his enthusiasm and also, I know sending the message back home, it is a big deal. And so he had a good first day, and we'll learn a lot more as we go. But he will not be without a lot of excitement and enthusiasm. He was jacked up today, and he's been coming around the office. We've seen him a couple times in the first day already. So he's trying to find his way a little bit, but he's doing well.
Brady.
Hi, Pete. I'm sorry if you were asked this already, but Daryl's his leg injury from last year. is that a thing of the past at this point? And just how is he doing physically?
That's with the work that he's been able to do here in town and in the off season. That's how we're approaching it. Like, that's behind him now, and we've made a real clear declaration that now it's about getting in great shape and getting ready to play ball and getting back to his football and all that. Feeling like, a little bit of wishful thinking, but we're feeling like that is behind him. So now it's just maximizing the opportunity to get strong and make sure that he's really fit and ready for a challenging season. So we're all really encouraged about it.
You said before that there's some overlap or interchangeability between Sam and Leo. Could you elaborate on that, please?
Yeah, well, both positions call for outside rush ability, and so both guys drop at times. The Sam position drops more than the Leo position. It's a little more featured as pass defender on early downs, and so the demands of it can cross over. The guys can really be able to double dip here, and so we can get the right combinations in, guys on the correct side, maximizing guys' strengths and all that. That's really what we're doing right now. But all the while, we're evaluating the guys that are playing both positions to see how much of a crossover they're able to make and see how much flexibility they give us. So there's no question that Darryl can do both things. There's no doubt.
Thanks.
Art?
Pete, Eskridge gave you a third receiver for 4.4 seconds or less. What options does that open up for the offense?
Well, we love the speed. We love to be explosive and love to use the whole field. Russ is a great downfield thrower, and we've for a long time have been an explosively oriented team in the throwing game, particularly on early downs and off the run game. And so to have, the more the better. The more speed, the better. He's going to fit in beautifully, and he'll work his way and compete his way into how much he can contribute. But to have all of those guys as threats is really what you desire, and so I don't know how it's going to turn out. We're a million miles from figuring all that out. But the fact that he does have big time speed, and we saw all the highlights, all the huge plays that he was able to execute. It's a real positive for us. We're going to find out how comfortable he is playing inside as well as outside, and that. We saw him about 85% of the time or something like that play at the wide receiver position into the boundary. So we're going to have to uncover some of that flexibility as we go through it. Just today he was lined up in the slot, motioning around, moving around, as well as playing outside. So it doesn't look like it's going to be any problem. It's just a matter of what we ask him. He's a really bright kid. He really cares about the details of stuff already. He's made a big impression with Nate and the guys in the receiver side of things. We'll see how it all pans out, but going back to the originals about the speed, there's nothing to replace that, and we love it.
Last question, Bob?
Yeah, I'll probably butcher his name, but wanted to ask you about the lineman from Montreal, the Canadian guy.
Pierre.
Yeah.
Pierre. He goes by Pierre. That'll work.
Pierre, okay. He's listed as a guard, but it sounded like he could play some center too. Or where do you guys see him playing? Or
yeah, we're gonna try him at guard as well as the being an emergency center type guy right now. We want him to feature playing the guard position, but that's day one. We got to figure it out from here. I'm excited about this guy. He's really, really focused and jacked about being here. The first time I talked to him, he was on a subway or something like that. So we had to struggle our way through our first conversation, but I could tell his enthusiasm and the juice for coming here and being part of this was there. He's a real bright kid, and really look forward to him, finding his way. So we're open to whatever, but we're starting him at guard. But he did take snaps at center today in early practice, and like we always say, the more you can do.
Okay, thanks, guys. Hold tight, and we'll bring you a couple more players.
Wasn't that good to leave him with a little wisdom, right at the end?
Yeah,
the more you can do. Yeah. All right. See you guys.